Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty on the Budget, and today we are talking about food. Yes, we're talking about grocery shopping in the middle of all this economic craziness that is happening. Gas prices are rising, banks are going under, recessions are happening, and grocery prices are through the roof. But in the midst of all of that, we still have to eat, you guys. So I have compiled a list of 20 budget-friendly foods that we can stock up on in our groceries and our pantries. Now, the unique thing about these foods is that they are budget-friendly. They give great value for money because you can use them to create other meals and they last long. So first up, we're going to talk about flour. Yes, good old-fashioned flour. Now, I have the white flour in my pantry. That's what I use to make dumplings, whether boiled or fried. And that is a good staple or starch for us to have with other meats, and it's good to stretch and fill the belly, because when you're under a recession or when you're under any kind of economic pressure, honestly, the priority, yes, we want to eat healthy, but we also need to keep those bellies filled and stretch that dollar. Okay, so flour is one of the ways to do it. Now, if you have certain health conditions, however, there are different types of flours like corn flour or wheat flour, so you can buy accordingly, but that is a must-have on my list. Second to that are oats. Now, there are two kinds of oats. You have the finer milled ones like the Fosca oats, like what I have here. This is like Jamaica's favorite. This is Jamaica's staple. And we also have the Quaker oats. These are the rolled oats, which are larger and full of more fiber. Now, these are shelf-stable items. These are shelf-stable items. They last long. They're very filling. It's very healthy. And it's affordable, right? So even if it is that you cannot afford to buy a big bulk quantity, like for example at a larger chain store, you can buy smaller quantities, even in the box, and what some persons do, they probably buy them in smaller quantities over time. So you probably buy a box this month and another box, so they keep adding to their stockpile in their working pantry. What some persons will do is they will pour out the oats into a glass container that is tightly sealed, such as this one. So whether it's glass or plastic, it should be tightly sealed so no insects or any kind of weevils or mites or whatever can get into it. And so of course we ensure that this food lasts a very long time on your pantry list. Another food that is good to have in the pantry, and that is, it's pretty cheap still, is cornmeal. Breakfast dishes, cornmeal porridge. So cornmeal porridge, you can use it to make cornmeal dumplings, festivals. You can use it to make an array of things. So cornmeal is one of the things, and it's also a healthier option than just having plain white flour. It's a healthier addition to the flour if it is that you're going to be making dumplings for persons who need that extra fiber. But it's one of the things that also lasts a very long time. And for me, just like the oats, what I do to keep it preserved even longer is I put it in the freezer. Rice is the perfect staple. Whether you choose to get white rice, brown rice, jasmine rice, yellow rice, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that there is some rice in your pantry. It's very filling. It's great, especially if you have a large family. It's budget friendly and it's shelf stable, so it lasts a pretty long time. One little trick that I learned after losing 10 pounds of rice in one go because of insects in the rice is I learned that I was supposed to put it in the deep freeze or a freezer for at least a couple of days before storing it in a separate container. So I learned my lesson. So ever since then, when I get my rice, I put it in a deep freeze. I mean, you can opt to leave it there, or you can store it there for a few days if you don't have the space, and then put it in another container. That way it kills off any insects or any kind of mites or weevils or whatever maybe lurking around, as you know, it's a grain. Sometimes you don't have it, or you don't have the means to go and prepare a big meal. You can actually fuel up on something like this, a peanut butter sandwich, peanut butter with some crackers, and it is a healthy alternative. It's very protein rich and it lasts a very long time on the shelf. So this is one of the things that doesn't need to be refrigerated, but even if you have it for a couple of months, you know that it won't go bad. So of course, this is one of the things that we ensure that you know, we always keep stocked up on. Another thing that we need to have in the pantry are tin meats. Now, tin meats such as tunas, sardines, mackerel. Of course, we know our good old Jamaican Grace mackerel and our Brunswick tuna and whatever other brand you choose. Once it is tin, I'm in. These last a very long time. You know, in the Caribbean, we have hurricane season. So these come in very, very, very handy because during hurricane season, when the power goes, there is no way for us to really get into cooking a full meal as we would want to. So these are things that are easy open. I opt for the easy open tin, thank you please. But these are already cooked and you just pop it open, put on your sauces or whatever, and you can make a tuna sandwich, or you can do a little cook up or whatever mix up you want to do with your mackerel, and you're good to go. Another tin food that is a good staple to have are tin meats. And when I say tin meats, I mean like corned beef. You know, in Jamaica we call it bully beef. Yes, I know we had enough of it during Gilbert. However, and that's Hurricane Gilbert. However, it is an excellent staple to have. And yes, I realize that now it has gotten a lot pricier than we're used to. So how I get around that personally is I buy the small tins, the value pack tins that come in packs of 6. I buy them at Price Mart. So I will get 6 of those, and that significantly reduces the cost, because if I were to buy one of those tins retail at a regular supermarket, I would pay twice the price. These are actually what they look like, the small ones. This is the Kendall brand, which is one of the cheaper brands, more affordable brands, and it doesn't taste bad. This one, I like this one. It has like the hot and spicy, and they have the regular one that's not hot and spicy. Just, you know, you add whatever seasonings you want to that one. But whether it's Kendall, Grace, or whichever other brand you choose, this is a good option to make sandwiches, to cook up with some pasta, and you know, those kind of things. Speaking of which, pasta is another great option. Pasta and spaghetti. You need to have another type of staple in your pantry, you know, for those days when you want to do something light yet filling, something that doesn't require a long cooking or prep time. Suppose you're coming tired and the kids need something to eat, or you know, it's just you alone and you're hungry but you just want to make something real quick in a pinch. It's a great option. Hey, some pasta and some bully beef, we're in. Tin milk is a good option to have for sweetening in a pinch, and these are shelf stable, so these last for a very long time. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at any of these expiry dates and you'll see how long it takes for these things to go bad, right? So this is the Nestle brand condensed milk, very thick, very creamy, and you can use it to add to sweeten your cereals, your porridges, whatever you're baking, your cornflakes, whatever, it doesn't matter. This has a variety of uses. It can even be used to make a quick little dessert in a pinch, smoothies, shakes, whatever. This is a good value. It doesn't go bad, and if it is that you buy it from one of these larger stores like a Price Mart, it works out better for you because you buy the bigger one, you get the value for money, and it's cheaper than if you were to buy retail. But if it is that you have to buy retail, then some persons do, they'll buy 3 this month, then they'll buy another 2, another 1, and they keep adding and adding to that pantry over time. So whichever way your method is, whether you want to go one shot and buy bulk, or whether you're buying little at a time, this is one of the items that you need to have in your pantry. Condensed milks, evaporated milk, and good old powdered milk. Now in Jamaica, this is a very, very familiar brand. This is Lasco, and I mean, there are other brands out there, but this is one of the more popular ones. It comes in different flavors and it's made of soy, so you can use this milk, and it lasts a very, very long time. It's very shelf stable. It doesn't go bad until you open it. Then after that, it may start to break down over time, but even then, it's a very, very good option to have when you're doing your cereals, your cakes, your smoothies, your drinks. You can even just mix it as a drink to itself, right? And also for persons who may have dietary restrictions or health or religious restrictions, there are coconut milk powders. So you have coconut milk powder, you have soy milk powder, you have tin milk, whichever one you decide to choose. The point is, get something that can last long on your shelf. Another budget-friendly food that stretches very well are baked beans. Any type of bean actually that is in a tin, but these, they last long. Baked beans, you can do them with frankfurters, you can do them by themselves, you can do them with whatever you feel to add the baked bean with. I am not even going to go into the culinary aspect. Just know that this is a good option to have at all times in your pantry. It gives good value, they give good value for money, and they last long on the shelf life. Food drink mix is a great way to not only benefit you nutritionally, fill you up, but also add some great nutritional value for money on your pantry shelves. One of the items that I like to use is Milo food drink. I like to stock up on it when I can. When they have sales, I'll buy like the 3-pack or the 2-pack when they have sales. Now something like this, you know, you may be feeling a little bit peckish, or things might be running a little low. You need something that will boost you a little bit, kind of keep you filled, while at the same time being nourishing to the body. So this is one of those things. The Lasco food drink, as mentioned before, is one of those things also. So it's good to have like items like these. These can be used as breakfast items, lunch, heck, even dinner. It doesn't matter. Your belly does not know the time. The point is to have things that are delicious, nourishing, and also make sure to buy things that your family eats or drinks. It does not make sense that you're buying things that your family doesn't like just for the sake of filling a pantry. Another shelf stable item that is budget friendly and lasts a very long time and is very delicious, nutritious is, well, for me, the grape jelly. But these can also include jams and marmalades and sauces like that, like sweet sauces. So, you know, you have like the guava jam, the guava jelly. Some people like grape jelly. Like for this one, I thought I got it at a steal because PriceSmart has the big, this is the big 30-ounce bottle, and you get a 2-pack for $997. So, well, at the time of this filming, it was $997 for the 2-pack. And let me tell you, for me, it works out because in a household of 2, this thing here, this bottle will last between 4 to 6 months because we really don't use it very often. So this is like for occasionally when you might be in the house and you feel for something kind of sweet, you know, or you want something to make a breakfast sandwich or something for lunch. This is a great option, and of course it goes well with the peanut butter. So, you know, so there we go. Sugar, of course, is one of the staples that I have to have in my household. However, for persons with dietary restrictions, they may choose other sweeteners. So this may include things like stevia for persons who may have diabetic or pre-diabetic tendencies, or they just don't like sugar. Some person may choose to use honey, which is an excellent source of nutrition, and it also is very shelf stable, lasts very long, and it's a great natural sweetener. So persons may opt to use honey instead. Well, for me, I don't like the taste of honey. It makes me dizzy. I don't know what's happening with that, so I really don't like honey. But for me, I'll work with the sugar. So keep it in a sealed container, make sure that nothing gets in, and we're good to go. It lasts a pretty long time. And I mean, something like this, you won't be going through this anytime soon. Now for me, when I say dried meat, I'm talking about salted fish, codfish, saltfish. That fish lasts a very long time. To me, it even lasts longer than pickled mackerel or salt mackerel because that has some amount of moisture in it. So it still gives a little weird taste after a couple of months if you keep it too long, in my opinion. So for me, the salted fish, which is dehydrated salted pollock, that's what it's actually known as. In Jamaica, we call it saltfish. That lasts very long. It's shelf stable. You can keep it in the refrigerator or in a cool, dark cupboard. It will last and it will not go bad for quite a long time. And it makes a great pickle. You can, you know, cook it up with your ackee and saltfish, hello please, or national dish, and you can use it to add to vegetables or by itself. Cook it up with some dumplings and we have a meal. It's very budget friendly, especially for me if it is that you're buying it at a big box store like a PriceSmart. keep referencing Price Mart, but down there, that is where I see some of the biggest savings when it comes to that, because when I get the big box of it, right? It's like the 2 pound tray for like 1,500. That is a deal to me in comparison to the little pieces that you get retail for $400 and $500, which to me is not worth it budget wise. However, if it is that your method of stocking your pantry is to buy small amounts in retail quantities, that is your method and that is fine. But for me and how it is, I run my household, there are certain items that I buy in bulk, in large quantities, and then there are other items that I will go with retail. So that is one of them. And other honorable mention, hello please, seasonings. Now, I am not saying that you need to necessarily go out and get these. This is the Island Spice, which is Jamaican, and this is Badia, which is Jamaican style Badia, which is an international brand, but you know, one is US, one is Jamaican. But the point is, whatever seasoning you use, I have to have seasoning because my meats and my dishes have to have flavor. Like for me, I cannot do without curry. This is a curry. If it were up to me, I would curry everything all day, every day. It'd be curry porridge, curry flakes, curry dumpling, curry. I'm kidding, but yeah, I'm not. Curry, okay, that is a must-have in my house because I eat a lot of that. And this is an all-purpose seasoning. But there are other types. You have like your jerk seasonings. This one is from Walker's Wood. So this is pretty shelf stable once it's not open, but once it's opened, it has to go be kept refrigerated. So this doesn't last as long as the powdered seasonings. So the powdered seasonings will give you bang for your buck. They'll stay on the shelf as long as you please. And yeah, so they'll stay on the shelf as long as you please, and yeah, it's worth it to me, you know. So another thing, speaking of seasonings, that I have to have is good old salt. And of course, for many reasons, it's a good what do you call it? No, it's a good, other than a seasoning, it's good for cleansing. There's a word that I'm trying to think of. It's not antiseptic, but it has cleansing properties, okay? Science people, back me up here. Okay, but this is the iodized salt that I buy in bulk. And of course, you know, iodine is a very necessary nutrient in the body, okay? And it prevents thyroid issues and, you know, issues with your hormonal glands and so on. So you need to have salt in some form, or iodine in some form in the body, and this is how we get it. All right, so the salt is a must-have for me. You have a sore throat, gargle with the salt. You're making your meats and your cooking or whatever, you have to have a little bit of salt, a little pinch of salt. So this is a must-have for me. You're washing your meats, you wash it in your salt too, your salt water and so on. You have a cut, you throw some salt water upon it if you don't have anything else. So this is a must-have in the house. Vinegar, for many reasons. Not only is it good as to make pickles and so on, to preserve, what do you say, it's a good preservative. So when you're making pickles and you know, those canned seasonings and so on, or those jars of seasonings, it's great for preserving them for a very long time. It's good as a cleaning agent. Yes, it's and baking soda, very good as a cleaning agent. It's good to clean your meats or wash your meats with, and it also adds a little bit of flavor if you're doing anything with fish. So this is an honorable mention. It's also even great to use in the laundry. So these are some of the things that I have to have in terms of stockpiling foods. These are like the bare necessities, the basics. And another honorable mention, which I did not mention, was oil. Yes, you have to have your oil. And that is a touchy subject for some people. Some people swear by canola oil. Some people swear by the coconut, the olive. Whichever team you're on, whether it's team olive oil or team coconut oil or good old vegetable oil, whatever floats your boat, just make sure you have a little bit of oil in the house, because you know, oil, it's good to have. It's shelf stable, it lasts a long time, it helps with cooking and preparation of many different foods, and it's, you know, a little bit of oil is good for the body, for the skin, to give it that suppleness, that little glow. So this has been my list of must-have foods or must-have grocery items for stocking the pantry, and my dog decides to bark at this time. Great. But until next time, you know, see you soon. Just let me know if I've left off any of your favorites, or if there's any that I didn't mention, you can leave them in the comment below. Let me know what you thought of this video and drop me a nice subscribe, and we can get rolling on our other videos from Beauty and the Budget. Until next time, ciao.